Well, Tucker Carlson is presenting evidence showing that the corporate press and the Democrats lied completely about what happened on January 6th. We have this breaking story from Julie Kelly. Drama in the Proud Boys trial yesterday after FBI agent caught lying on the stand and concealing evidence from defense attorneys. Motion filed this morning from Nick Smith, attorney representing Ethan Nordian. Not only is it being reported that the FBI agent lied on the stand, but that there were criminal informants involved who sought to have the records altered to conceal their presence. This is not just FBI lying on the stand. This is destruction of evidence. This could be a Brady violation, but more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, it seems this may be, I'm trying to be very careful here, direct evidence of informant involvement in January 6th. That's right. In this filing, they say a criminal informant said, delete this information, delete this evidence because it shows that I was present. And there it is. Right now, Ray Epps is trending. A lot of people have a lot of questions about this guy. We had Kash Patel on the show just a couple days ago talking about how it is beyond a reasonable doubt that there were federal agents and informants involved on January 6th. And now we have this. I'm not going to bury the lead. I'm going to scroll right down to it and make sure I can just show you immediately. First, what messages did FBI conceal from the defense? A request by an FBI informant to alter an official confidential human source report, quote, edit out that I was present. An agent's request to Special Agent Miller to, quote, go into a CHS report that Miller just put together and edit out that the agent was present. Whoa. So I got that one wrong a little bit. We're not talking about an informant who was present. It's an informant report. An agent was present. That's right. It's right here, right now in the filing. Unless, of course, this defense attorney and these filings are fabricated, it would appear that we have direct evidence of agent involvement in January 6th. That's it. There you go. Have a nice day, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, by the way, today's my birthday. If you want to support the work we do here, head over to timcast.com and become a member by clicking the Join Us button. As a member, you are helping keep this operation up and running. We rely solely on you as members. We do have ad revenue, but ad revenue does not keep the lights on. So if you like the work we do and you want to get me a birthday present, timcast.com, click Join Us, and let's get back to reading the news. I really want to drive this point home for everybody, but an agent was involved. Definitive proof. Okay, wait, hold on. I got to slow down. Preponderance of evidence that I would say places it well beyond a reasonable doubt when you combine all things together. Notably, the Ray Epps video. Kevin Dalton says Ray Epps did everything possible to incite a riot on January 6th. Ray Epps led the charge on the Capitol. Why does Ray Epps get a pass, but a cancer-stricken grandmother who did nothing more than trespass sit in solitary confinement? Interesting questions indeed. And we don't know for sure, but it seems like we got evidence that agents were involved. Here's the thread from Julie Kelly, recently appearing on Timcast IRL to discuss some of these issues. She says, breaking, drama in the Proud Boys trial yesterday after FBI agent caught lying on the stand and concealing evidence from defense attorneys. Here's the filing. There's parts of it that she's posted. Today, government witness Special Agent Nicole Miller was cross-examined. She testified that she understood her legal duty under the Jenks Act to produce to the U.S. Attorney's Office written statements relating to the subject matter of her testimony. Miller acknowledged that among those statements were messages she sent in the FBI's link messaging system, where Bureau employees communicate with one another. She testified that in order to comply with her Jenks obligations, she compiled her link messages in an Excel spreadsheet, which was then produced to the USAO. The version of Miller's Excel sheet produced to the defense contained 25 rows of her link messages. In cross-examination, the agent acknowledged she alone compiled that disclosure. She testified that those messages constituted a complete production of her Jenks statements from Link. However, a close examination of the agent's sheet revealed over 1,000 hidden Excel rows of messages. Miller was thus examined as to whether she had withheld from prosecutors Link messages concerning whether, 1, a conspiracy charge was factually supported in the Proud Boys case. There's more. Julie Kelly says this is what happens when a rogue, corrupt FBI is allowed to lie to the public, withhold information, and operate without oversight to Congress. This agent or someone deleted thousands of messages in FBI's linked messaging system, messages relevant to the investigation and required to be produced to the defense counsel. Someone, according to this, it says the agent was the only one who compiled this information. The filing goes on. Today, government witness was cross-examined. Oh, this is the same filing, the next one. What messages did FBI conceal from defense? A request by an FBI informant to alter an official confidential human source report. However, the filing says the agent in the filing, an agent's request to Special Agent Miller to go into a CHS informant report that Miller just put together and edit out that the agent was present. Who's this agent? Julie Kelly says brazen lawlessness at FBI in its biggest January 6th case. Boss instructs FBI agent to destroy hundreds of items of evidence. Now, this I believe is hearsay, but still should absolutely be presented in court. If this is a slam dunk case of seditious conspiracy, why is FBI destroying and hiding evidence? In this snippet of the filing, it says, Miller's communications with another agent who states that the agent's FBI, quote, boss assigned her 330 items of evidence I have to destroy. What? How do you outright say that? From the hidden rows in Miller's link spreadsheet, it is apparent the defense has not received all of her Jenks statements in these relevant communications. That is because the individuals with whom Miller exchanges messages can be seen responding to the agent, but her own statements are missing. For example, consider the below hidden messages in Miller's link. Now, I don't know if we have the below. Julie says, even more egregious maybe, FBI accessed emails between one defendant and his attorney and discussed its contents. This agent apparently knew one defendant planned to go to trial. The judge excused the jury as soon as this info was revealed in court yesterday. Hearing shortly. So this is all going. This is crazy. This is a violation of attorney-client confidentiality. The filing says, finally, Nordian must be permitted to cross-examine Miller with the hidden link messages to determine whether defendant's Sixth Amendment rights have been violated through government collection of attorney-client communications about trial strategy. Weatherford v. Bursey. It says that defendant's Sixth Amendment rights are violated when the government gained access to the substance of the attorney-client conversations and thereby created at least a realistic possibility of injury to the defendant or benefit to the state. By email to Chambers, the government argues that the attorney-client privilege is waived whenever a defendant communicates by jail, email, or phone with his counsel. This is obviously wrong. Y'all have seen movies and TV shows. You always have the scene where the person knocks on the door. They're in the interrogation, and the cop's like, "Tell us who did the crime," and the criminal's like, "I'll tell you nothing." And then there's a knock on the door, and the guy walks in and goes, "I'm the attorney for Mr. Smith. Please give us the room." And the cops to leave and turn the cameras off, and the lawyer is allowed to communicate with the client, privileged. You can't spy on him. Why would that right be waived? Privilege, they call it. Attorney-client privilege. Why would it be waived? Because you're using email or phone in the jail. How else are you going to talk to your lawyer? Make him come down every single time? This is crazy stuff. I think that there's jail conversation, Julie Kelly says. So let's break this down. Evidence was tampered with. An agent was present. They're withholding evidence from the defense. So not only just destroying it, but then you have the Sixth Amendment violation. Now, I don't know if it's a Brady violation, but let me show you this here. Brady disclosure, Wikipedia, so we can understand a little bit. A Brady disclosure consists of exculpatory or impeaching information and evidence that is material to the guilt or innocence or to the punishment of a defendant. The term comes from the 1963 court case, Brady v. Maryland. So the basic definition is, here's some examples. The prosecutor must disclose an agreement not to prosecute a witness in exchange for their testimony. They must disclose leniency. They must disclose exculpatory evidence known only to the police. That is, the prosecutor has a duty to reach out to the police and establish regular procedures by which the police inform the prosecutor's office of anything that tends to prove the innocence of the defendant. The prosecutor must disclose arrest photographs, Some state systems have expansively defined Brady material to include many other items, including, for example, any documents which might reflect negatively on a witness's credibility. Police officers who have been dishonest are sometimes referred to as Brady cops. Because of the Brady ruling, prosecutors are required to notify defendants and their attorneys whenever a law enforcement official involved in their case has a sustained record for knowingly lying in an official capacity. Sounds like the criteria has been met, in my opinion. So what does this all mean? The filing is interesting. I think it shows more proof that there were federal agents involved on January 6th. Now, I don't know. In that filing, it says that it redacted that an agent was present. Present where? Was the agent present in a bedroom 1 month before? I mean, that matters to the defense, but it doesn't mean anything about January 6th. However, it does mean this. Y'all have backed yourselves into a corner. Shout out to our corporate press friends and the liberals, because let me ask you a question. If the Proud Boys are being charged with seditious conspiracy, some of them, and an FBI agent was present in their midst during this, does that not mean that that a federal agent was involved in the planning stages? Now, don't get me wrong. This is what informants do. Informants will go to a drug deal and then be like, oh, geez, you're going to do this, and then go tell the cops. But this was an agent, not just an informant. So there's an agent there. Sound familiar? This is what the FBI does. The FBI has a history of sending agents into groups to orchestrate the crime itself. And it looks like this is where we're at right now. So I want to play this video for you guys. It's a viral clip. Many of you may have already seen, but I think it's important because it's only about a minute long, but many of you may have not seen it. This is a man named Ray Epps. Let me show you this video.
We need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. What?
Ray Epps yells, we need to go into the Capitol, and someone immediately goes, what? Now watch this. No.
Peacefully. Fed. Tomorrow?
They all begin chanting fed at Ray Epps. Funny. Ray Epps, who called repeatedly for people to go in, who led the charge onto the Capitol grounds, was accused of being a Fed well before any of this crazy J6 stuff went down.
I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go. I'll say it.
All right.
We need to go in.
Shut the fuck up, Boomer.
To the Capitol.
Base Fed posting? All right. We need to go
Fed
into
posting.
the Capitol. I didn't see that coming. Okay.
Our president is done speaking. We are going to the Capitol, where our problems are. It's that direction. Please spread the word. All right. No, okay, but one more thing.
Yeah, so can we go up there? No?
When we go in,
Are we going to get arrested if we
leave
go
this
up there?
here. You don't need to get
Did you
shot.
arrest us all?
When we go in, he says, they've been planning this. So let me point this out. Ray Epps says, when we go in, he clearly premeditated the breaching of the Capitol grounds into the building. Now that sounds like seditious conspiracy to me. He planned in advance to go in. He orchestrated in advance. Where's this guy at? Where's he at? You know, the funny thing is that you get people like Kinzinger on the J6 committee saying, he didn't really do it. It was all talk. It was all talk. Let's watch a video of him actually breaching the Capitol grounds. Here we go. The barricade comes down. And hey, there's Ray Epps. Reportedly, Ray Epps. And then there he is, rushing up on the Capitol grounds after the barricades were breached. There he is running. He's just jogging forward. So my question is, you've got a guy on camera who clearly planned it. You got a guy on camera rushing onto the Capitol grounds. Brandon Strzok was on the show last night. He never went in the building. He climbed. My understanding is that he was on the steps and he was filming what was going on for a few minutes and then left. And then all of a sudden, everyone was accusing him of being an insurrectionist. It's interesting. There's four sides to this building. There were many people who were at a peaceful rally that had a permit. The police opened the doors for them. There were many people on the other side who were violently fighting with cops bashing them, and it was brutal and bad. Tear gas was going off. It was chaotic. Our friend Richie McGinnis was there, and it was crazy. People scaling walls. Now, there's two sides of this building in the official story. I mean, there's more side than two, but I mean, like in the story, you've got bumbling dotards on one side, the doors being opened by cops who wave them in, and then violence on the other side. The left and the liberals tell you that the violence was the only thing that happened. And every time you try to bring up that, hey, but you do realize one guy got acquitted because the cops waved him in, and that's probably going to ripple through a bunch of other criminal cases because there's video of the cops waving people in and opening the doors for people. Tucker Carlson released video of the Q shaman, Jake Chansley, being escorted through the building by police who even try to open doors for him. They walk up to a door, they try to open it for him, and then they bring him to another door and let him in. It's amazing. He then thanks them for letting him do it. Says, thank you for the police for letting us in here. But if you're on the left, you don't know that. You don't watch the news. You don't watch the videos. All you know is whatever the cult tells you. It's funny. Man, how do you break through all this stuff? How do you get people to understand that they're being lied to and that something darker is happening? But let me tell you, my friends, you want to talk about civil war? Fine. If you think there's no civil war here or coming, I might agree with you. Because of stories like this. Because the federal government is clearly on Antifa's side. End of story. End of story. Now, don't get me wrong, there are still some elements that resist. But overwhelmingly, I mean, the far left is able to do whatever they want with impunity. We got this Proud Boys trial for seditious conspiracy. Where's the federal arrest for the protesters in front of the Supreme Court justices' homes? What about any kind of federal action against these Antifa extremists firebombing government facilities over the past several years and killing people? Sorry. I mean, it happens a little bit, don't get me wrong. You know, there's some reporting that these people are being arrested. But you have a massive national movement of far-left terrorists, seemingly no action against them. But if you're a little old lady who bumbled about and walked into a building because the cops fanned you in, you're in solitary? So yeah. Maybe there's not going to be a civil war, as I say, because it's a revolution and it's already happening and y'all are already losing. Look, I don't know. I don't want to be the bearer of black pills. I don't think that in the long run we all lose everything. I think in the long run the system collapses and then you'll live your life. Humans have always made it through every challenge set before them for thousands upon thousands of years. And the United States, I believe, is resilient, but no empire lasts forever. So this could be the collapse of the U.S. It could lead to destabilization of the globe. You know what that means? Honestly, the world will change, but I think you'll be fine. All of these problems we see that we want solved, it's because we don't want the system to collapse, because we want to expand, we want to develop, we want life to get better. Me personally, I want to see space colonization. But you know what'll happen if this all breaks down, if the United States fails? It means that you'll go back to living a normal life like your great-grandparents probably did, or your great-great-grandparents. This idea that you can wake up, stare at a phone, go work some job where you type into a computer is insane. I mean, many of you listening are probably listening while you're actually working and lifting heavy objects and building things or maintaining things. But so much of our economy is based upon nonsense. Insurance salespeople. Look, no offense if you sell insurance, but we got computers for it all now. You can just type it in, press enter, and the whole thing's automated. It's unprecedented that so many of our jobs are being automated away. Granted, I mean, the industrial revolution happened. I just mean to say that if this all comes crumbling down, you know what's going to happen? You're going to have to go out and chop some wood. You're going to have to go out and throw some seed down for your chickens or something. You're going to have to buy a gun, get some land, and actually live like humans have lived for tens of thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years. Do the work to survive. A portion of your food should be made by you. That's a good start. So in the summer, we'd been doing a garden for a while. We got rid of it, unfortunately, because we don't really have anybody tending to it nowadays. But we're going to start this process up again, and we do generate about 20 eggs per day. So a portion of the food we do eat is created by us. And here's the best part. Oh, right now is the best, because there's chives everywhere. Yo, chives, so delicious. And it's just like grass on the ground. So I go out, I ride around, I scoop up chives right off the ground. We rinse them off, we chop them up, throw them right into our food. They taste so good. It's like eating grass. I don't know. Delicious. I absolutely love it. This is what you're going to have to do if this does break down. Here's the worst part of it. If the revolution of the left succeeds, you're probably going to be eating grass straight up. What they say is if you're starving, you can boil grass. You can take grass and chop it up and then boil it into a tea to get some nutrients out of it. But digesting cellulose is nigh impossible for humans, so you're not really going to be able to eat grass. I read that you can eat some leaves like deer. You got to do is you got to take the leaf off the tree. You got to split it. You got to rip it open and rub it on your skin. Wait. Nothing happens, then you got to rub it on your lip, then wait. If nothing happens, then you can eat a little bit and then wait. Then, if everything's good, you can start eating the leaves. I'm not sure that's exactly what you're going to want to be doing. But it may be where we're going because we know what happens when the far left takes over. We've seen it in so many other countries. Now, reading about the Spanish Civil War, you get you get the fascists and the communists fighting, the left and the right. But we don't have that element of the right in this country. In Spain, they had military leaders who were right-wing. We don't have that here. We do not have that here in the U.S. The military's woke, and probably on purpose. They are weeding out people. Maybe some of these leaders then become militia faction leaders or something. I don't know. All I know is with what we're seeing with the federal government being weaponized, even right now, I'm going to make sure to ask Congress about this tomorrow when we go to the Capitol. We hang out with Matt Gaetz. What's being done about this depravity and this injustice? I don't know. We may be losing control, but it doesn't mean that we lose the war. It just means that what we all want is for this country to remain stable and functioning, and that may not be what happens. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll say it again. It's the one opportunity that I really have to shout out Timcast.com, but it is my birthday. So I will milk it for all it's worth. And if y'all want to get me a birthday present, go to Timcast.com, click join us, become a member, because that sustains this operation. We want to expand. We want to do a grant program where we can give people $10,000 once per month. One person who is working on a cultural project will give $10,000 to. That's me basically saying, look, it's not about the money for me. It's about winning a culture war. And so when you become a member, we will allocate money in this way, and probably we'll do more. We've got the coffee shop we're building. We got a new show coming up, Poker with the Boys. And I really want to win a culture war. So go to timcast.com, become a member, smash the like button, share this video, and I'll see y'all at 1 p.m.